Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Um, I think we should just quickly begin by welcoming you here today. This is a session in which we're going to be talking a little bit about how the IDI has responded to the challenge of COVID. We have done an initiative called the Agile Factory. We're going to be introducing you to the factory as well. And then we're going to look into a very special project, which is called Co-Live. And it's an application, digital application that our students have designed. But in the process, we hope to be able to have a more in-depth kind of reflection. Someone has their, okay, thank you. In-depth reflection about the process, right? That we all have been undergoing of change, transformation, having to handle the situation that we are facing now with the lockdown, and how to bring ourselves to the table and with our talents try to contribute to it as much as we can. So maybe we should begin by playing the video of the IDI so that those who don't know who we are and what we do can get into a little bit of an introduction to it. So Razan, can we have the video? Hello? Hello, hello, hello? Can Razan listen to me?
Happened just like that. It happens when we leave our comfort zone and embrace change, creativity, and out of the ordinary. We live in interesting times. We live in a world that's constantly asking questions, that's constantly changing. In a world where blockchain and robots will be the norm, where 85% of tomorrow's jobs don't exist yet, where being multi-skilled is not just celebrated, but essential. At Dubai Institute of Design and Innovation, we believe that we need to prepare you for the future, to teach you skills that will power your tomorrow. Today, design matters more than ever. But how can design help, you may ask? We combine disciplines so you become well-rounded. From product design, multimedia design, fashion design, strategic design management, it's where you will learn how to merge different design disciplines. Presenting a 4-year Bachelor of Design degree in collaboration with MIT and Parsons' new School of Design. DIDI, not just another design university.
Okay. So I would like to begin by starting with a little bit of an icebreaker so we can get to know each other a little bit. So my name is Renata. I'm a professor of multimedia here in DIDI. And the Agile Factory, as the response that we came up to this challenge, for me, it was very, it was like jumping in this kind of unknown space. It was, we had to have a lot of courage for us to be able to change our whole curriculum without knowing, without never having had the experience of teaching everything online and not knowing if it was going to work or not. And we still made the choice that we wanted to do it. And so here we are, having a story to tell. And every story begins with that choice, with that decision of taking a step into the void and not knowing if it's going to work or not, and still having the courage to actually try and do something. And this is the story that we're going to tell here today. But before we get into the story and before we get into the Agile Factory and the Co-Live app, let's begin by talking a little bit about ourselves, right? About the story of ourselves as we face this challenge. So how about each of us here today take a step back and think of a time before COVID. Think of a time where, what is the first image that comes to your mind of a moment where you did not have to face COVID, anything related to COVID? What's the first thing that comes to your mind? Picnic in a park. Wonderful. Anyone else would like to share? What's the first thing that comes to your mind? What's the first image? Going out with friends. For me, it's actually teaching my students in an actual class. Road trips. Now, swimming. Oh my God, how do I miss swimming? Going out with my friends after exams, shouldn't have socializing with friends. Oh yes. Oh yes. So we all share that. We all share that sense of loss, right? Like we all here share that common experience of having lost something that's really important to us. And when you look back, the first thing that comes to your mind usually is this kind of awareness of what's important, right? So the first thing that this whole situation brings to us is it makes you realize, like, oh wow, you know, this is something that really matters to me. Now let's change directions. Think about the time that you spent in isolation during the lockdown. When you think about this time, what's the first thing that comes to your head? How do you see yourself? Can you help me out with that? Homeschooling a four-year-old. Oh my God, that's not easy. That is not easy at all. Oh my God, I know. I have an 8-year-old as well. Who else? Don't be shy. This is supposed to be an icebreaker. Crossing off everything on my to-do list. Being busy with my brother. Okay, so I'm teaching my brother. Enjoying hot lunches with the family. Okay, so family. Low energy levels and laziness. video calling friends and family whom I haven't been in touch since a long time. Excellent. What's the first thing that we can see? That's the lots of procrastination, attending at graduation ceremonies online. What's the first thing that we can see here? What's the common thread between all of those answers that we can learn about how we're dealing with this? You know what it is? Relationships and the quality of experiences, right? With yourself or with other people, right? It's relations. Excellent. So those moments, right? It really takes us back to what's important, and not just in relation to our goals, right? Such as the example that was given about someone that I was able to do everything in my to-do list, right? Or a lot of people have been talking about how everything is better now in their relationships because, you know, they're actually taking the time to face whatever issues they had and work it out. Because when you're facing a situation like this, we really need to rely on each other, and we really need to come back to this sense of community, right? And community becomes something that truly comes to the fore, and is where everything that really matters comes to life, and it's unavoidable. What would be of ourselves without community in a situation like that? Nothing. We would not be able to even handle the situation. And so when we come together today here in this virtual space, we are also our own little micro community, right? Of me, Carlos, Almond, Razan, Aisha, Amber, Samuel, Ria, George, Isha, Gonka, Sam, Annabelle, Aisha, Nikilesh, Jayashree, Donna, Joel, Vaishno, Kala, Mona, and Tanusha. This is our little own micro community. And Samuel is saying, I miss all the kids from the previous session. Oh yeah. But this is nice as well, because this is, you see, this is a little more intimate, right? So maybe we are going to have the time to actually go a little bit deeper in sharing the experience, right? So how about we move to the little video that we have here about co-live, and then after you watch it, we can introduce Amber, who can then talk about the project, and then we can start reflecting about both sides of the project, both the process and the outcomes, and what can we learn from all of that, right? So I'm going to share my screen here, and I hope you enjoy the video. Oh, oops, I have to share the sound as well.
When I was younger, I would think of the people that lived through historical happenings and how that would impact their lives. And I often thought of whether or not my generation could live through something similar, and how would we handle it at this age. In December 2019, the first case of corona was discovered, and on March 12, 2020, COVID-19 was announced a global pandemic. The human race was forced to stay indefinitely in self-isolation. Studies report that as social animals, humans need each other. We need to feel supported, valued, loved, especially when we're anxious, depressed, or feeling unsafe. In the face of the COVID-19 pandemic, not only are we losing connection with each other, we are also losing work rhythm, amongst other problems that might leave an impact even after recovering from this pandemic. But despite these issues, we are also becoming more appreciative and are learning not to take things for granted. CoLive 20 is an app that acts as a time capsule for all things related to this global pandemic, simultaneously taking on the role of a platform for sharing, an interactive service platform, and a conversation initiative. CoLive 20 will help us take advantage of our innate human right, which is social connection during this time of extreme isolation. It will be a tool to collaborate and make us social beings, empathize, and leave memories. Users will capture, document, and store their feelings or stories and collect data that is related to COVID-19, contributing to a collective archive of emotional stories and making it even more accessible and memorable, serving as a source of reflection and inspiration for tomorrow. Beyond documenting and fostering their feelings during this pandemic's happenings, through partnerships and sponsorships with other organizations, users can also choose to donate and help in the fight against corona, and they can retrieve awards after finishing these tasks. CoLive 20 is a non-profit platform that takes advantage of the way social media has become a key feature of our everyday interactions. The team at CoLive 20 is dedicated to finding solutions that merge connectivity and well-being in ways that can benefit us all. Join us now. Let us connect today to reflect on tomorrow.
Okay. So this is the app that was developed as part of our Design for Emergency initiative at DIDI. And Amber, hello.
Yes, hello.
Hello. Can you introduce yourself a little bit?
Okay, yeah, so I'm part of the team that worked on the Design for Emergency group. Actually, Nicholas as well is here, another member of the team.
Who are you here as well?
Who is here as well? I am.
Okay.
My name's Amber, and so we were put in charge of developing this project for this team, and we came up with the idea CoLive. So what we wanted to do with CoLive is really address mental health during this time and what everyone was personally going through. Because if we have a look at all of the past pandemics or plagues or things that have that humanity and history have experienced, there hasn't been any record of what people were thinking or feeling at those times. And so that's why we wanted to go ahead and try to give people a safe space to discuss experiences that they're going through right now, emotions that they're dealing with, how their daily lives have changed, and etc. So that's where CoLive was birthed from. And if my other team members want to say anything, Nicholas or Hoor.
Yeah. Hello. Thank you for that. And I mean, pretty much to add on that, it's just that we wanted to kind of develop this repository of experiences, and just like Amber said, like the previous times, right, when we kind of look back at history, it's always been this number game back in the time. It's always just like the numbers that we're so that kind of matter all the time, but we kind of wanted to push that aside and say data can also be like qualitative at the same time as it is quantitative, right? It's that how can you bring in a beautiful balance between the two to understand the situation in a much more intense or in a lot more depth than possible just with numbers. That was kind of our goal with this, and kind of starting off and being a bit ambitious, we we did aim in developing an app, and slowly through like prototyping and kind of developing it over the project, we launched a website where we can invite you to come in and share your thoughts and kind of collaborate with us to put out your experiences of what you've been facing over the past 3 months, right? That's pretty much it, right?
Nikilesh,
Yeah, and
is that online?
yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Can you
the
share
website
your
is.
screen with us? Can you share that with us right now?
Of course. Just a second.
The website, we actually managed in making it, and it's online, and everyone can contribute to that, to the page. We really wanted to make something substantial by the end of it, and I feel like we achieved that. And so the way that it works is very simple, and it's explained in the website, but just to give you guys a brief of the idea is there are a series of conversational questions that you go through with someone else in a podcast style interaction between the two or more participants. And you just go through these questions and tell the other person how you're feeling, what you're doing. Simple questions and some more hard-hitting questions that really get to the root of what people are going through right now. So it's all up on the website. I think Nikilesh will be sharing that screen soon.
Yes,
And
as soon as I have permission to say stuff.
oh yeah,
Nizan or Alman, can you help me? Sorry.
Whoever the host of the meeting is has to allow screen sharing.
Okay, Nikilesh, you have it.
You can
I
try
guess
now,
so.
Nikki.
Yep.
Okay,
You can
perfect.
try now.
Perfect. Thank you. Then are we able to see this?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Amazing. So yeah, I mean, as soon as you land in, we just kind of introduce the whole idea of what we're trying to do, and this was the part where that Amber was discussing, but where you can kind of jump in and pitch in your voice to this whole collective that we're trying to develop. So here's the space for like where you can access the question. We just tried a small attempt at like gamifying the question. So you have these cards that you can scroll through and pick a question, or and this is just meant to like kind of open up conversations to spaces it normally wouldn't go to, right? Like, I mean, imagine having a call that's always only been about work or like just some mundane topics. Like, some of these topics are really important to discuss and bring up, and we almost always neglect that, right? So this is just kind of pushing us to talk about things we are not always comfortable about, but is really important to talk. And here's where we've just kind of provided a space for you to record a conversation and put it up. And once it's done, we put it up into the internet for the world to kind of listen to your perspective. And the idea is not to like kind of brag about it or anything like that. It's just to let other people know that they're not alone in what they're going through. Because with a lot of what's going on, anxiety and these kind of I wouldn't say issues, but something that develops can easily be say removed or forgotten about simply by talking and discussing things that, you know, it's just having an open space to talk about stuff that you feel, and rather than bottling it in, putting it out there kind of will definitely help. So
I have
these
an
are the kind
idea,
of
Nikilesh.
Mhm.
After maybe Hoor can give us her experience, side of the experience, and when we have finished with your presentation, not a presentation, but just like a sharing of your experiments, maybe we can open to the participants who are not from DIDI and ask them the questions that are in the website.
Yeah, absolutely. The first 2 episodes that you see up here is actually what we did as part of our user testing. So we had the questions finalized and everything, and then we sent it out to our circle of friends and asked asked them to participate in it, and it went really well. So you guys can give these a listen on your own time, and then you can decide to whether you want to participate and upload your own episodes. Yeah.
Wonderful. It's truly wonderful. Hoor, would like to hear from you. Hoor?
I think we don't have Hoor in our participants. I was checking and I don't think she's around unless she joined with another name.
Oh, she was here. Maybe she's not here anymore.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
no, she's not here anymore. Okay. That's okay then. Can we go back to the questions?
Yeah.
Just a second.
Because I think that this is a perfect way for us to start the conversation, you know, and make it like a true roundtable. Yes. Okay, this is good. Okay, so what shows have you been watching recently, everyone? For everybody. Let's just
Conversation
make
starters here.
yeah. Dark. What is it? What is it like? Okay, just talk on. Open up your mics. Suits.
Suits is a good one. The Office, yeah, of course.
Mindhunter. Lost. Oh my God, Lost. No, come on. I need to hear the voices of people.
Oh my God, I remember number blocks.
Come on, Money Heist. Money Heist. And do you think
Money Heist always?
So I've been watching this show called The Great, which is a Hulu show, and it's about Catherine the Great, but like loosely based on history, and it's really funny. So I recommend for people who want a little bit of humor with this dash of history. It's a nice show.
Great. Okay, I'm taking notes. I'm watching Space Force.
Oh yes, Space Force, so good.
It's so funny. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Space Force is too much.
That is a good one.
I really, this is like, I could never imagine that someone would be able to make something that's really not funny at all into something funny, you know? And they were really able to do it. And just John Malkovich, it's so good. He's so
Steve
good.
Carell is the best, definitely.
The Last Dance. Can you tell us a little more about that one? The Last Dance? What is it about?
Should we move on to the next question then?
Yes,
If
yes.
everyone's
Let's
answered? Yeah. Any new skills you're sharpening, or any new skills you've learned?
Cooking. That's new for me. I've never been a cooking kind of person. Video
editing. Cool.
Photoshop and cooking.
Oh yes, that has to be part and parcel of the process.
Learning new languages. Programming.
Wow.
Nice. Yeah, quarantine. Coding. Lots of people learning coding. Aerobics and yoga. Python. Oh, Python is supposed to be very in vogue right now, right?
Practicing Bharatanatyam.
What is Bharatanatyam?
Cool. That's a traditional Indian dance
form, yeah.
Dance form, yeah.
Traditional dance.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow. Now I'm curious.
Guitar and
dance lessons.
Nice. Lots of music, cooking, creative coding.
Making from projects with Aisha.
Photoshop, video editing.
Salsa dancing too. Oh wow.
Salsa dancing.
Salsa
Carlos, you need to teach
dancing.
us this.
Yeah. How about you, Nikilesh?
I offered an online session, but it was close to Ramadan and we didn't manage to do it. But we will do one, definitely.
Yeah, yes, definitely.
Of course.
Was it the salsa dancing? Was it salsa dancing?
Yes, aerobics
Salsa
with
dancing.
Latin music.
Oh, that's true.
With
right,
salsa
yeah.
and
Okay.
merengue.
Yeah,
That's
looking forward to that class, Carlos.
Is that like related to Zumba?
Yes.
Ooh.
So it's basically many takes on Latin American rhythms and how you can turn them into a little workout routine, but still making them fun. So you can do like the classical dancing or making it more of an exercise routine, and they're all fun.
Cool. Can I go to the next question? What activities have you been participating in lately? Agile Factory meetups online.
Agile Factory meetups online.
Talking to a lab.
Zoom.
Yeah.
Family Zoom calls. Family Zoom calls all the way. There were so many birthdays in this last week. My family just like Zoom calls all the time.
Family Zoom. You know what's
It
weird
seems-
about the situation? You know what's really weird? It's that I feel more connected to my friends now than before. It's just really weird.
Yeah,
I think
that is a weird
isn't
result.
it true?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's really true. And to be honest, when we were building this website, we were on a call that went on for about 6 hours, and I mean we managed to do it within the 6 hours. But the thing is, we would have never spent 6 hours together if we were like in a physical space. That was what was like. It was just crazy to think about it.
Oh my god! So it really created this kind of bond.
Our team is really tight knit now. after all that we did in this project. Yeah.
Oh, look, Samuel is saying on the chat, we're going through the same experience even when we are in different countries. So there is a feeling of togetherness. Yeah, I agree. I really agree. It's really like even people that old friends that I would not be connecting with, somehow people are reaching out to each other, like all of a sudden there's like this urgency, I have to talk to you now because otherwise, I might miss the opportunity. So yeah, someone is also saying in the chat, very true. Yeah, some kind of invisible connection. Yeah, which is the experience itself, right? Like this, we are all on the same boat, no matter where you are in the world, and this brings about all these different kinds of realizations, right?
Sorry.
Most definitely, yeah.
So next question.
Yeah.
Oh, it's connected. It's exactly what we were talking about.
Yep.
I think we answered this question. Yeah.
What will we be doing right now if nothing changed?
Ooh.
That's a very tricky one. Exams, probably.
Yeah. That's the reality of it, right? You'd think that you'd be doing something very extravagant and fun, but really you'd just be doing like uni work or school work.
If nothing changed.
Having a family trip, that's really nice.
It's even hard to think about that possibility. It's like it's even hard. Get-togethers. Next one.
Yep.
How has your daily routine changed since we started social distancing? Would like to
I can pitch in
answer
for
that
that.
one first.
It's just our
Sleeping
sleep
more.
schedule is gone for a ride.
Very lazy. Me and my best friend, lots of screen time. Would have been sleeping over 24/7. Have my meals, my family for lunch and dinner. Oh, yeah, that's so cool. No commutes, eating all the time. Early dinners, which has been great.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
For
I
me,
think our routines have changed so much that we realized how much time we spend commuting from one place to another. It's a lot.
yeah,
It's a lot of
it's
our
a
day.
lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
For me, it's like it's experience of time has changed. You know, like
Absolutely, yeah.
in a really weird way. Like it's hard to know which day of the week it is. Really hard. I have to constantly check about what time it is, what day it is, of the week. And it's in a bizarre kind of way. You lose touch with the concept of time, at least from my perspective, you know.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
don't
You do.
just lose touch because it's like I don't even know if it's going fast, I don't even know if it's going slow. It's like it doesn't even exist anymore. You know what I
Like
mean?
right as you said that, I had to check on my phone what day it was because I wasn't sure. Yeah. We've really become very reliant on technology to tell us what time, when it is, what day it is, because we have no sense of that anymore, it seems.
Tala, can you explain a little bit? Can we listen to your voice when you see breakfast from a different perspective? I'm curious about that. No? Everybody's shy? Oh my god. Okay.
Next one.
Next one.
What has been keeping you positive lately?
My family.
Ah, yes.
Yes.
Definitely.
Family is everything, right? I feel like I look forward to see everyone sitting in the table in the morning. Family. Oh, that's so cute. Family and sense of progress. Sense of progress in relation to what, Samuel?
Hope that things will get better. Meditation and yoga. My cat
Oh,
and
it's 100.
exercise.
Gratitude for everything we give for granted. Yes, that's for sure. That's for sure. Small little things, like the small little pleasures, right? Is what becomes like the best part of your day, like that little gourmet tea that you bought, one of your treats, and then you make that tea and you're like, oh wow, this is so good. Hoping for everything to get better.
The little things, definitely.
It's the little things.
Yeah.
It's the little things. It's the little things, and also the important things, right? The things that really matter, like our families. Yeah. Next question. What is something you learned during this experience? Excellent. Can anyone share? Cooking. Driving a car. Wow, to be grateful for all that I have. Patience.
Patience is a good
What?
one. I think we've all learned that to some extent.
Oh yeah, new languages. Don't take things for granted. self-learning, resilience. Wow, resilience. That one for sure. That one for me. I think the most important thing that I've learned is my own limits. Like I think I pushed myself so hard, you know, and I think that it was a little bit too much, you know. And I think that is true for a lot of people, you know, not just for me. It's easy to yeah, we're all in this storm, but we're not in the same boat, so let's be respectful. Yeah, totally. Exactly. Your turn to ask a question.
Please.
Okay, let's use the chat. Everybody's using the chat. Let's use the chat. Can everyone type a question in the chat?
This is the part where we really want people to be creative and really engage, see if they kind of understood. Wow, great question from Carlos. How are you transformed as a person? How are you transformed as a person? Ooh.
How are you transformed as a person?
Personally, like, I feel like I did not realize I had a capacity to deal with so much all at once going on, like so much information, like a flood of new information on the daily. And I realized that my capacity to sustain that has increased, or maybe it was always there and I just didn't know it. So yeah, that's a big transformation on my part.
For me, I think the way it has transformed me is I feel that I'm more humble, you know. I feel like the whole experience of like there are things that are so much bigger than yourself, and no matter how much you do, and no matter the effort and the skill that you bring to the table, there's always things that you're not going to be able to change, you know. So you're going to have to accept, and that acceptance, for me, it brings humility, you know. And I think that's how it's transforming me. I think I'm becoming a more humble, more I don't know.
Yeah. And another thing is, you realize that nature is much more formidable than you give it credit for, right?
Yeah, definitely.
It's just,
we have some really good
so
questions.
out of our control. Yeah.
What would we be doing now if this wasn't for COVID? This is a great question, because we would not be having this conversation, right?
Yeah, exactly. We would not meet, probably.
We would not be here, actually. We
Yeah.
would be here, and we would not necessarily see as important this kind of community, this kind of coming together as a community and sharing of our own personal experiences. Maybe this would not be a priority for us.
We realize in this time how important and how valuable like social interactions are to us, to our daily lives. So yeah, that was also a part of the Co-Live initiative. It was give people this platform, this space to interact and because we are innately social beings, right? We need that sense of community around us. So that was a part of this initiative. Yeah.
Next question. Have you helped anyone deal with depression because of the current situation, and how did you feel about helping them?
Interesting. I mean, of course, like the thing is, more than me helping out people, I think I probably had these like zones where you kind of dip down, and I just like called up a couple of my friends. We had like super long conversations, and I don't know if it helped or not, but it definitely it kind of made me feel not alone. Let's say. So that definitely helped. I mean, just the idea of like putting it out there, because I've always been someone who bottled it up and said like, okay, it's fine, you can deal with it. But I think like even talking about it to other people and like discussing stuff, just putting it out there really helped. It helped much more than simply saying or forgetting about it. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of it, a lot of the pressures and like anxieties and everything gets alleviated once you start to talk about them. Yeah. How
It's
much?
not just even. Sometimes it's even about, it changes their whole perception about something. You know, just by talking about it. Just by talking about it, just clarifies the whole issue, and then you have this insight that you never had, that you would not have had. You would not have had if you didn't express it verbally. That's how important it is to actually have conversations, right? That are about this kind of difficult issues, and that raise vulnerability. So I think that the difficulty is that a lot of people don't feel comfortable enough with exposing themselves, right? With mental health. So it's usually it's an issue that it's under how can I say, underestimated almost.
It's not looked at as much. It's kind of ignored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some other answers from Harini. Some of my friends are staying alone and stuck, so talking to them and getting it out of them helped. Okay. Okay, next question. How much have you understood yourself as a person and your role in your family?
Wow, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
Who wants to take this?
Well, okay, I guess I could go first. How much have you understood? Well, I think it's a lot of self-discovery. I think we haven't, at least I personally haven't reached at a final answer to that, because it's like this new developing thing, because since everyone's at home, everyone's being assigned new tasks and new things to do around the house, just to like get things done and make sure everyone's okay and all that. And it's this constant changing thing. It's always evolving. So like one day I may be cooking, the other day I might be washing the dishes or something. I don't know. So it's just like it's this constant changing thing, and I don't think anything is like stuck and that's it and that's your role. But yeah, it's been fun, despite that always evolving thing. It's like something to look forward. Okay, what am I going to do today that's different from yesterday?
Yeah, definitely. And I think it also it's about redefining the role as well, because when everybody's stuck in the same space all the time, you also need to renegotiate, right? the expectations that everybody has about everybody, right? So for me, for example, in my family, I had to negotiate with my husband who was going to take care of what in relation to the homeschooling, you know, because we were stepping on each other's toes all the time, you know. And it took a while, you know, for us to find a way that we can both feel that we're contributing to the homeschooling, but in a way that works. You know, that took a long time. That was a really a big source of stress, you know. And now it's okay. Already, are you, any positive changes physically or mentally that you're going to follow even after the pandemic? That's a very good question as well. We have a very good question. I think for me, the changes that I'm going through in terms of priorities in my life, this I want to keep, you know. So I think that as a part of my self-reflection, of the way that I was dealing with life, you know, I think I was trying to overachieve a lot, you know. And when you try to overachieve, you always pay a price, you know. And I don't want to pay that price anymore. I'm not willing to pay that price, you know. So I'm like, okay, no. Actually, this is going against myself, because if I try to overachieve, then I end up doing damage to myself, and then the actual benefit that I'm trying to get is going to be short term. So I have to think for long term. My strategy has to change. I have to find well-being and balance in myself. So I can't push myself so much. I have to, you know, take 2 steps back, and then I can see a long run, you know. So that was the biggest takeaway for me.
Yeah. Making sure
Anyone
that
else?
you achieve your goals sustainably, where it doesn't wear you out or you're not giving up on other things
It's
that
either
matter.
you have to choose. You either go for the marathon or you go for the 100 yards.
Yeah.
You know, what I was trying to do is I want to go, I'm running as if I'm the 100 yards, but I'm actually doing a marathon. So if I keep doing that, I'm just going to burn out, you know.
Yeah.
And there are the kinds of things that the situation that Corona brings you really realize. There's no way you don't realize, because you really are looking to yourself. You cannot escape yourself, you know. Next question.
If nothing else, COVID has forced us to all self-reflect a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The
Now,
next
have you been
question
trying
is,
to focus on yourself more or on others?
I think by focusing on myself more, it has resulted in me like reaching out to others more, in a way. Like, it's related. So by focusing on myself more and bettering and growing and evolving and all of these things, I have been able to reach out to other people more. So it's like, it's two things that are very closely related to me. So yeah, it's both, actually, to the answer to that question.
Or maybe right. So my idea is kind of like on a complete opposite to what Amber just said. I think like trying and focusing on other things has has like helped me kind of introspect into a lot of what I've been doing. So say before the pandemic, doing something on, I'll just give you a quick example. Doing something on Photoshop with it, on like video editing or anything like this, it just used to be part of the job. You just get done with it or something like that, right? But after the pandemic, I've kind of found these kind of distractions therapeutic in the sense that they pull you out for like 10 minutes from all of these like overwhelming thoughts. You focus yourself on something else, and when you come back to, I don't know, like thinking about yourself, you kind of have a clear head. So it's not crowded with all these like unwanted thoughts or anything like that. You've kind of distracted yourself, and you have a clear head to come back and think much more. It's like jumping out of your own body and looking at yourself. You know, that's been pretty helpful actually. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Nikki. Next question. What was one thing that you've changed about yourself during this quarantine time? Anyone?
Guys, if you have answers to this, please answer them in the chat as we like say the question. So just to repeat it again, what was the one thing that you've changed about yourself during this quarantine time? What was one thing I changed?
I think it's related to one of my answers, my previous answers. I think that I changed my pace, you know.
Yeah.
It was very, very fast, and then the whole situation just made me realize that, you know, maybe it's not so healthy. And so I definitely changed my pace right now, and it's been really, really good. And I can see the difference it's making even in my academic production, like my writing. I can see a very big difference in the writing that I'm doing now and the writing that I was doing before, in the sense that because I'm not rushing, the concepts, I'm actually able to present them in a way that's more clear. So yeah. Do we have any answers?
Yeah,
Okay.
learn to reflect more, started accepting the situation and its consequences. Very, very good answers. Became better at understanding others and helping them out. I think we're all self-improving.
Definitely.
So that's good. That's good.
Definitely. That's one thing that I think everybody has in common, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that we are having all these new insights about ourselves, and we are also developing this kind of new level in our connection to our communities, in our connection to our families, right? Mm-hmm. Self-improvement is the best use of time, after all. For sure. For sure. Thank you, Joel.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And on that note, I think we've had all our questions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you so much. Maybe we can go back to the group, mm-hmm. And maybe we can do a final round of reflection about the project itself, right? Mm-hmm. How it was to your experience, and how do you see this going from now on? And open up the room for questions that are related to the CoLive app, right? So maybe I have something for you, especially for the students at DIDI, and I would like to ask Mona and Aisha to participate as well, even though it's not the same project that you guys worked on, but the question is still relevant. So if you could answer as well, would be great. So let me ask you two questions for the students from the Agile Factory. When you compare your expectations that you had before you started working on this project with the actual process of developing the work and coming forward with your ideas and trying to implement your ideas in reality. When you compare the initial idea to what you were able to accomplish, how is it different, first off? And what was the most important thing that you learned in this process?
So our expectations at the beginning were ambitious. To put it in one word, it was quite ambitious because we were thinking of a lot of ideas all at once, and it was a lot of ideation. And through the process of actually looking at it properly, seeing the steps that we would have to go through for each idea and all of those things, through the process, we realized more realistic avenues that the project could take, because from the start, we were very adamant on making something that would be an actual service by the end of the project that people could use. We managed to do that, and I'm really proud of our entire team for managing to do that. Just two of us are here today, but our team is a larger group of people. So I think that we managed to achieve our core goal, while also making sure that, you know, we weren't trying to we weren't trying to make the project unrealistic. And I think since now we've gone through all of those questions and everything, everyone's got a little bit of a taste of what this idea is. We would really love for everyone's feedback on how you see the project as well. And yeah, and Nicholas, Mona, Aisha, if you guys take it away, guys. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, in terms of the project, I think like that's something that I kind of understood over say the course, was this startup culture that we kind of put in. You know, so right from the beginning, I was kind of curious, like, how does it actually work? You know, what actually goes into, say, bringing to life something like this? And this probably is our first experience as students, of like kind of putting out something out there for people to like participate in. You know, and, like until now, all of our projects have been like inside the four walls of DIDI. We haven't say like we haven't handed out anything to the people, and we haven't say had any tangible interactions with them. This was kind of our first attempt at that, and I mean, I'm still just curious to see how people interact with it and what can we kind of get out of that. And this all comes under that umbrella of a startup culture, which was like super interesting to be part of. Yeah, that would be my takeaway, I guess.
Yeah, the process was demanding of us, but the results can like speak for themselves. So I think we managed to achieve our goal.
Thank you so much, Amber. Aisha and Mona, would you like to say anything about your process in the Agile Factory?
I mean, I agree with Amber. It was more of like a long process of ideation and trials. I don't think really any of us have made something that is set in stone for to be like properly published. I think it's more of like an ongoing process. And that's what's been a bit different compared to the other projects that we've done, because this one is like, since the pandemic is like an ongoing issue, we always have to continue working on it, and it's an ongoing process. Compared to the other projects, it was like we could just finish it in time for a submission, but this isn't like any normal submission because we don't know when this is going to end. But yeah.
Thank you so much, Mona.
Yeah, this went beyond a project. It was more than a project, actually. So We're really grateful to have this opportunity, and it was only possible because of you guys, all of the faculty and the professors who managed to
And
create
the
this,
institution itself.
and the IDI,
And the
of course.
institution and the Agile.
Yes, yeah.
Yes. We're really proud of you, all of you. We really are. Really, really, really. This is very rewarding, and we know how hard it was. We know, all of us, because it's an, I said this before and I'll say it again. Very, very, it requires courage because the situation is very demanding and everything was happening at the same time. We were adapting to this whole new learning environment. Everything is new. Everything was new. Nothing was as usual, right? But like I said, we were still committed to being present and coming together and trying to contribute somehow. And I'm very, very proud of what you guys have done. On that note, maybe we should open up for the final questions, right? And so we can start wrapping it up.
And unfortunately, some people are having to leave, but thank you so much for all the very, very nice comments, especially from all the external people that attended this session. So I was just reading through the chat, and it's really, really much appreciated that you enjoyed this very sincere and honest sharing of what the process of our project was, and the sharing by the students of how they conceived the project, how they developed it, and what we've all learned through the process. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the participation. And now we can open to questions. Does anyone have questions for us, for the students, or for us?
Yeah. And thank you everyone for your feedback. It's really nice to hear.
Okay, we have a question. Why is it called Agile Factory? Oh, that's a very good question. It's called Agile Factory because we were using an agile methodology called Scrum to actually organize the groups and the work processes. So that's why. Are you familiar with Scrum? Do you know what Agile is? Or would you like me? Actually, Agile is a methodology that was born in the context of startups, right? It's the Silicon Valley answer to traditional management. So instead of having traditional management, you have workflows that are not hierarchical, so it's more horizontal, and you don't have like goals that are set in stone. You have constant adaptation to changes in circumstances, changes in the context. So that's why we chose this methodology, because we wanted to create also to the students an environment that replicates the way a startup operates. So these we were very successful to do. And even though maybe many of the students, they don't even realize, because they don't know how things work at startups, but I can tell you it's exactly like that. It's with Trello, and we have Scrum and the GTD and everything. We did the whole setup for the students, and they actually had to learn how to work with the methodology. So that's why it's called Agile Factory. Yes, yes. And also Renata, factory of ideas.
Maybe to add to this, it is a factory, and it is a factory of ideas. But in some cases, it also became a pilot test for manufacturing. So in the case of one of the other projects, Hacking Manufacturing, we were actually literally manufacturing face shields and protective devices. So on one hand, yes, a factory of ideas, but on the other hand, a simulation of a small factory of manufacturing, or making tangible some of these ideas and some of these projects.
We have a question for students. For one of our students, how would you describe student life at DIDI?
Oh, student life at the IDI. Oh, it's an interesting one. You'll quickly realize that it's not like it's very open, and it's very inclusive of all of the students, and your and they want to hear your voices in every subject, everything that we do. It's a lot of fun, actually. We get to go through the design process in a lot of detail, and I think that we started with that in first year, and we didn't really have a solid foundation back then, but now, as we're slowly developing into second year students, we understand it much better and everything. So it's a process of learning throughout the years, and like we're still learning as well. So it's a lot of fun. Yeah, student life. And our studios are like big and open and fun, and it's, yeah. It's cool.
And we're missing them.
Yeah, we
Thank you.
are. We are missing you guys, of course.
So
We're
what
talking
kind of
about the
college is
studio,
DIDI?
we're missing the
What courses
workshop.
do you offer? Maybe Razan can answer this.
And
Sure.
What courses?
So we are we offer an undergraduate program. We offer a 4-year Bachelor of Design degree, and students have the option of choosing cross concentration, meaning it's 2 subjects that they learn separately and combine as well. And we have a list of 4 that they can pick from, which are product design, multimedia design, fashion design, and strategic design management. So, they learn how to innovate within 2 fields and prepare themselves for the future. Maybe Carlos or Renata, you can speak more about the vision of the IDI or what we aim to do.
sure, we're basically, in a way, an institute of technology. So we're the Dubai Institute of Design and Innovation, and both words are very, very important. The idea of design and designing the future, and the idea of innovating. So we're probably not similar to traditional design schools where it's more related to art, or just to how things look, or making things nicer. We're really interested in blending design with technology, but also with entrepreneurship. So again, we are an institute of technology. So for us, technology is very important to fuel design. And for us also, as part of the innovation, entrepreneurship, and developing businesses around design is very, very important. And that's how we integrate design with technology and with business. And we see design as a humanization of technology. So for example, even with the project that we discussed today, yes, of course, it deals with technology, and it has to be coded, and you have to develop an app, or you have to develop a website. But at the core of the project was the humanization of technology. At the core of the project was really making people feel better, allowing for people to share their experiences and so on, which is the big power of design, I think.
That was really nice, Carlos. That was really, I don't even know how I can add to it, because I just say that all is true. and I hereby give my testimony. So, any more questions from anyone?
Or I
Oh, we
would
have
like
some. We do. Yes.
we have some more questions. Okay. I can't see in the chat, but I would actually like, well, for the people that are here again, thank you very much for joining us. But I would love if Mona or Nikki or Aisha, that I see you here, tell the rest of the people a bit more about your experience overall in the IDI. Thank you, Amber, for sharing before.
Yeah, I mean, sure, definitely. I'll just make this super quick, I guess. But like, I'll be super honest. Like when right before I came in to the idea, it was like I've kind of come in from this Indian curriculum of schooling and all of that, right? So it's this rigorous way of kind of throwing in a bucket load of information at you. It's just about how much can you grab and how much can you replicate on an exam paper, and that's the kind of space I came in from. But once we came into DIDI and had this design education again, it was really like relieving in the sense that you have authority of what you want to learn. So, and of course I did have that corner of interest or curiosity in the design field, but once you come in to the idea, I think it just gives you the space and the time to figure out what you need to do and what your voice is. And over the 2 years, I think we've slowly learned to understand that. And right now, and I think like all of the students at TID are at a space where we can look in like for the next 4 or 5 years and say, this is probably what I want to be doing in that course of time. So it's kind of pushed us from, or at least it's kind of pushed me coming in from the space of, you have to do this, like being instructed all the time, to the space where I can kind of take authority of what I want to be doing. So it's just like, it's a beautiful transition. And over 2 years, it's also given us a great opportunity of developing projects and works that we would normally never even think of, right? So like, I'll give you a quick example, which is like our first year final semester project was an opportunity to kind of think about an entity we might have in 2050. I mean, like, given, if I'll be super honest, not if I wasn't in DIDI, I would have never even thought about such a thing, right? I might have just like gone ahead doing something on Photoshop and then having another kind of whole thing going on there. But it's again this great opportunity that we've got to learn and use to the best of our capabilities.
Thank you, Nikki. That's a really nice reflection.
Thank you.
I think.
Yes.
Oh yeah, sorry, Nikki.
No, definitely. I was just gonna say we want to hear from Mona and Aisha.
So I would say my experience overall is just pretty amazing. I think the IDI has really met my expectations into thinking what like a design university would be. I came into the university really confused, not knowing what am I gonna do, what am I gonna pursue, what are the concentrations I'm gonna take. But I think it's something you learn on the way, and it's like you also learn how to do things step by step and how much each step means and how much it affects the work you're doing. And I really love and appreciate all the effort the IDI is doing for all the work, and I love the faculty because they're doing whatever it takes for our sake, and it's just amazing. The environment is also really nice because you just don't feel like there's this like high formality between the professors, the people there, and you. It's like everyone's in the same place, just the same vibe. Everyone's having fun, doing what they love, and I just think that's really fun. And it's like every work you do, you know you're going to have an opportunity to put your work out there because of all the effort they're trying to do. And that's really amazing because you know that whatever work you're going to do is just really special. And I just really appreciate that. And that's just like a summary of how I feel. So
Thank you
yeah.
so much. Thank you so much, Aisha.
Thank you, Aisha.
Thank you so much.
And Mona?
Yeah, I agree with Aisha. I mean, I came from a very traditional university before I came to DIDI. And like coming into the university, I honestly thought it was going to be the same. I thought that we were going to get yelled at for every design mistake that we've done. And it's not like that. Like, the professors are so welcoming to everything that we like what ideas that we have. And you're always giving us the opportunities to get the proper exposure. Like like they're very supportive, and that's something I think we all appreciate. And like to me, that was something that like I didn't have in my other university, and to have that here, like that's what design is really about. You know, you have to work as a group to make something that's amazing. So yeah, that's what DD is about. The idea, sorry.
I also think like the biggest example of this this thing that we've all been talking about is the Agile Factory. It was born like from an idea that the students were initially discussing in small groups, and then we took it to our dean, Hani, and he's the one who actually like made this possible and everything, and then the professors joined in, and like all of this was possible because of course of the environment that was fostered, and that we are allowed to have a voice in what we want to do. Yeah.
Thank you, Amber.
I think that the CoLive app has a lot of potential, and I from my part, I will make sure that we are going to keep at it. Okay. And I think that this is just the very beginning of all that we have to offer to our communities. And I want to thank you all for being here. And it was lovely. It was a lovely session. Thank you so much for the students and for everybody from DIDI who helped. And thank you so much for coming. I think we can wrap up the session.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you,
Both to the
everyone.
people that attended from outside, to our lovely team from the IDI, to our students. Thank you, everybody.
Have a great day, everyone.